All right, we got a special episode of the old Frosty Dinghy coming at you this one. We brought back the Ashley for this one, so that way she can
Yay.
give us a nice little perspective on what we got going on coming up.
Ooh,
This weekend, on Saturday the 25th, we're going to live stream
yes.
from the Iowa Distilling Company. That
Super
would be the
excited.
people that give us our famous prairie fire that I'm probably going to sit here and drink the whole time and get in trouble for it. And I didn't give you
You
any.
didn't even offer me any. That's kind of rude.
I did not. If you want some, come and get it.
Wow.
That's all I'm
Wow.
saying.
That's a long
If you
walk.
if you need some, you gotta come and get it.
I gotta work for it.
Yeah, there's only a half a bottle, and I don't share well.
That's true. It's very
Still
true.
tastes like those little cinnamon candies, though. I will give you that.
The red
So
hats.
we do have some special guests coming, and who are our special guests?
We have lots of special guests,
Yes, I
but
know, but we
my
have
yes,
those special guests, which is
yes,
backwards, and I'll probably have to take a picture and put it in. But we
yes.
have Feel
Felicia
Old
and
Lasers
Benny.
Apparel Design LLC coming, and they make all of my merch and all of my fancy
Yes,
T-shirts and all of my fancy hats, which this hat came from it as well.
yes.
Leather koozies, tumblers. What else they got going on over there? Oh, they're actually
The
expand.
tables.
They have tables. What do the tables look
Yes.
like?
Well, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. I gotta
Well,
take
you
my
just pick it up. You don't move that. You pick up
well,
the table and bring it into the
oh my
thingy.
gosh. Okay.
It's
How
not
am I
that
gonna do
heavy.
this? Get this? No, but I'm gotta get it in the frame.
It is
This
in the
fancy
frame.
table.
Yes,
Look at
fancy
this. It's
tables.
very fancy. I don't know if you can see it, but it's even got little sparklies going on it.
Yeah, you can see some
You see
sparklies
that?
on there. You got almost
It's
all of my
very
name on there, all of my government name.
almost,
There it is. You got the government name in there.
almost,
But they're making
almost.
they're laminating tables now. They're what were they trying what were they working on making dominoes?
Yeah. Yep. She was working on dominoes.
Dominoes and coasters, and they're getting into
Coasters.
vinyl. All kinds of fun
Yep.
stuff over there.
Bedazzling things.
They are
Pretty pumped
bedazzling the
about that.
shit out of stuff.
I
And
know. I'm
then
super excited. I want sparkly things.
he was pimping up his work uniform so that way he can wear a little bit lighter clothing by pressing his own stuff on. By all means, take a look at him. I mean, this is just the front of a Frosty Dinghy shirt. I'm sure I can find the back of a one of these days. Oh, look, we might have one.
I
Hang
was gonna
on.
say you should have some in there.
I have an extra laying around. See if I can get it in camera. Shit, can't grab it there. The Frosty Dinghy merch right there. They make all of our stuff around here. We will definitely send some out. If you want to order some, just hit us up in the comments on whatever channel you're on, because we're on a lot of them. So we also have a fun story, a little bit of a fun story on one of our guests. I do believe that I have known this guy since I've been born, and he is one of the most interesting characters ever, and you'll probably get to see him at least in a few shots, or at least you'll hear his mouth.
Probably accurate.
But I have known him for a long time, and he is very exuberant about the fact that I am dating Ashley because he only knew her as someone he ran into on at least once a week and not he really didn't really think that she knew what she was getting into with me. So he keeps throwing it out there that really him.
Yep. Yep.
So
He had to make that a very clear point. Even still, when he sees me, he makes it a very very clear point that really him? Are you sure? Are you sure? Him? Really? I have to keep reassuring him that yes, yes, this is my life choice, and I'm very happy with it. He of course is giving me a hard time, but it's pretty funny.
yeah, I think it's rather exciting. He loves being around me, so it's okay. We also have author Joey Dursky as our
Yeah.
chaperone through the distillery tour.
We probably will need chaperoned.
Well,
Probably.
he's kind of the person leading the tour, so we can't leave him
Well,
behind on
yeah.
that one.
Well, no, no, of course not. But I'm just saying, it's probably a good idea to be chaperoned.
And we have our J-Mac. J-Mac Jerry and his wife are going to be there.
I'm
So
excited for that too.
Jerry also came up with a good idea that I ran by Joey. He wants to try and see if we can play the game, Joey's new, music game afterwards
I'm I'm
when we're,
pretty
filming
stoked
the
about that.
podcast.
I'm pretty stoked about that.
So we're gonna do the distillery tour live, and then we're gonna try to film a podcast in the Iowa Distilling bar afterwards, which is in
As
Cummings,
long
Iowa.
as Yeah, as long as I get the dinosaur game piece, everything will be copacetic.
Yeah, you're not gonna get the dinosaur game piece. I'm gonna steal it and hide it from you.
No! I get the dinosaur. I've already strongly discussed this with Joey. I am the dinosaur. That is it.
We are gonna have a handful of other people. I don't know if they're gonna make it on camera or not, but at least those people are gonna make it. I know the aunt and uncle are coming and a few other friends, but I think we're up to what, 15 now? 11 to
I believe
15,
so.
somewhere in there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be a good time.
So it should be a great time if you're ever interested in seeing what a distillery does, and especially one that makes this fun stuff right here that apparently I've had in the freezer for a while. I highly suggest you watch the live stream. I believe it'll be out on TikTok and YouTube and maybe even Riverside as long as my app on the phone works. If the app on the phone doesn't work, we'll just go live on TikTok and you can watch it there at Frosty Dingy. Not that hard to find us.
And I'm super excited for afterwards when we go in the bar to see all the different types of cocktails and stuff that they make with all of the different types of alcohols that they make there.
So, speaking of author Joey Dursky and his distillery tour, how far are we coming on the next book for the book review?
I actually have the next few days off and I plan on tackling the next book, possibly the next two. So that won't take me long to get those taken care of.
You're not going to pause in between the Joey and the finale.
No, I probably won't.
You want to see how it ends pretty bad, huh?
I do. I do.
The
I
old
really do.
Veil-bound
So
series will be coming at you here shortly
it
then.
will. It
We'll have
will.
to we'll have to get the old Joey on here and get a couple book reviews done here
And
shortly.
we will. Yes.
And like I said, he's got the new game that he's been pushing. I know I've put it up here before. I'm not gonna pull up the clip this time, but you'll probably see it on the next episode or an attempt at it on the next episode, depending on if we have access to what we need. I think you gotta have a TV hooked up or at least sound to play that. Not quite 100% sure. I'll have him walk through the, instructions, but he wants to be hands off. He wants to just explain it and let us try to figure it out on our own demise, and I think he might even be recording it for his channel. So,
I'm excited to give it a shot either way.
hey, it sounds like fun. I think it's a lot of 80s, 70s, 80s, and 90s bands, I think, that the
Right up
club
my alley.
are geared to. So all the old people will be able to keep up.
Speak for yourself.
I am not old. I am 13 with a receding hairline, and oh wait, that's just how old I act. I keep forgetting that part.
I was gonna say your age and how you act, those are two different things.
So there was another thing that came up that I figured we need to talk it about a little bit.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, yeah, just a little bit, not a lot.
Okay.
Apparently,
Okay.
it's
Just
fishing season now,
yes. I'm so excited.
and I heard a little birdie tell me that somebody just likes hanging out in Bass Pro.
I do. I love Bass Pro.
Why do you love Bass Pro?
What do you mean, why do I love it?
I mean, why?
What's not to love?
I don't know. You need to explain why you love Bass Pro.
Because you can literally walk around for hours in there. There's huge fish tank and just watch all the different fish swim around. And then there's all sorts of fishing, camping, there's decor. So if you want to decorate your house, decorate your cabin. I don't have a cabin, but if I wanted one, yeah. And then there's like cute little stuff for your kids. If you want stuff to wear. There's boats, there's ATVs, there's side by sides, like all the stuff that you can't afford. It's in there. There's candy. There's there's a bowling alley. There's arcade games. There's anything and everything under the sun that you could possibly want. What is there not to like in there?
Didn't say there's anything not to like. I'm
Yeah.
just wondering why you love being at Bass Pro so much.
I just Camping chairs, I'm kind of a sucker for all of that stuff.
So you can just walk
Fishing
in there and
poles,
hang out for hours, even
yes.
if you're not buying
And
anything.
yes, I have gone to Bass Pro before and walked around for a couple hours and not bought a single thing. Sunglasses, jewelry, watches, sunglasses.
Shoes, grills,
Yeah.
hides.
Fishing, like, baking, cooking, seasonings, spices, little kitchen gizmos, gadgets, whatever you wanna call it. There's everything, everything.
So that's where you go to stock up for your fishing season.
Yeah. Well, or what I like to do is find stuff in there that's, like, super like, the super expensive stuff, and then you go to, like, Walmart or somewhere else, like, online, and you find it for cheaper because 'cause I'm a bargain shopper.
So, if you not if, when you go fishing, because
Yes,
apparently we have to go fishing now.
we
Yeah,
do.
I've sworn it off thanks to my father.
Well, now you don't get a choice.
Yeah,
I don't care if you actually fish or not, you just have to come with me.
yeah, I have to sit there and stare at the water at least before I make you
You
upset
can
when I catch
drink,
fish really fast.
I don't care. It won't make me mad.
So what do you normally fish for?
Whatever bites my hook. Actually, I do like bass fishing.
Do you know how
And
to
I do
bass
like
fish?
I what do you mean?
I
You
was
get a
it was
bass lure, like a bass worm, and you fish. And I do like to catfish, but I refuse to take them off because I do not like to get stabbed
do
by
I
the
need to
little
get you
spiny
cut
things.
resistant gloves at the Bass Pro?
No, no, that's why you're there.
Oh, that's the only reason I'm there is to take the fish off the hook. Outstanding.
Yes. No, no, I take everything else off the hook and I will clean everything else, but I do not take catfish off the hook.
So what's your, must-haves for your fishing season?
Mm, a comfortable chair, bass worms, and I like the pretty ones. They do. They like bass like the pretty, like they actually like the purple ones with the white stripes. I've honestly caught the most with those. That's usually the ones that I catch the most bass with. I don't know if that's a scientific fact or not, but those are the ones that I usually catch the most with. And earthworms. Could have earthworms. I don't know. Those usually be the ones that I catch the most with.
So you catch a lot of bluegills and occasionally bass?
Mm, yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like your setup. We will have to, teach you how to bass fish. Well, probably not teach you, but show you what lures to use for bass fishing, which is
I mean, I'll
not
use
purple
other
striped
things to.
worms, but
Oh,
they like the, black ones with the wiggly tails, Texas rigged predominantly, so you can throw it into,
I don't even know
areas
what
that
that
are
means.
covered in high moss and around trees, and
Ugh,
you can't get
that's the
snagged up.
worst.
You can't get snagged up if you rig them my way. That's why it's called a
Okay.
Texas rig.
I was gonna say, I don't know what that means.
Well, it's basically you just, push the hook through the worm sort of like you normally do, that leaves the barb hanging out, then you twist it and
Yeah.
stick it back into itself.
Oh, I just wrap it on there a bunch of times and
No, not live worms, the rubber worms.
oh. Oh.
Yeah.
I'll have to show you which ones I usually get.
I'm sure we can make them work. But dad used to get pissed off. Well, he got really pissed off this day. Like, this is the worst day he's well, not the worst, but top 5 that he's been really mad at me. We were fishing at Diamond Lake, which is our favorite place to fish for reasons we'll get into here shortly. But he kept casting out this long, I think it was an 11-inch rubber worm with a pink tail
Mhm.
out next to the moss. And every time he'd set the hook, he'd lose the tail of his worm. Every time.
Yeah.
And he was pissed. And he knows that I'm better at catching the bass than he is. We
Okay.
established that when I was like 8. And he's like, "Will you just come over here and catch this motherfucker?" I'm like, "Okay. How many casts you gonna give me?" He's like, "You get 3." I'm like, "What's it doing?" "It's eating the tail off my worms." "Okay." So I had one of those little, power worms on. I can't remember who makes them, but I cast it out and on purpose put it next to the moss. So
Right.
it eat that little floppy tail off real quick. And I didn't set the hook. I just let it eat it and brought it in. Next, I cast it onto the moss. And since I had a Texas
Okay.
rigged, it couldn't get hung up. So I just slowly wiggled it off of the moss. And as soon as it came
Yeah.
off, I set the hook and drug in the fish, handed it to him, and walked off.
Oh.
I'm like, there you go. He
Yeah.
set the fish down, he set the pole down, and literally just sat down on the bank for a while, not wanting to talk to anyone.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But like I said,
Yeah.
that's only top 5 at Diamond Lake. That was probably
Only
4
the
or 5.
top.
Yeah. Because he is the one that taught me how to fish, and he's really good at it. He's always been really good at it, and he showed me
Yeah.
all the spots to go to, but I got a little bit better because I didn't just follow 100% what he was saying. I actually went and learned other things, right?
Yeah.
So and this was when I was a kid. When I was a kid is number 1. Like, I was probably 5 or 6 when I pissed him off the most. And there is
Okay.
absolutely 0 skill in this, 0 skill in this, and it's probably the dumbest thing you can do to catch a fish. You know what a rapala is, right?
Well, what?
A rapala, the thing that looks
No.
like a fish with 2 treble hooks on it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a
Okay,
rapala. Yeah.
I didn't know what it was called. Yeah.
Well, I didn't really wanna fish, but everybody, my cousins and I wanted to fish, right? So,
Yeah.
we're all down there fishing in probably a 100-foot area where is normally a good place to catch bass, and
Right.
I the treble hooks, everybody else is using a worm, and I'm using a rapala, and the rapala keeps coming in with moss on it,
Yeah.
so I have to pick it off every time. Well,
Right.
I got angry and I got tired of taking the moss off with my fingers, so I started beating the water to a froth in front of me with a Rapala.
Mhm.
And as I'm beating the water, apparently a bass thought that was a good time. So it nailed the Rapala, and as I was pulling it back up, I flipped a 3.5 pound bass out of the water onto the bank behind me.
Oh. Oh.
Like, literally just beating the water, and I never stopped swinging, and it went behind me onto the
Oh.
bank, which made everybody mad because nobody else was catching anything. And to be honest, that was the 4th time that had happened in my fishing career by 8. We did it at
Not
ponds, we did
even
it at other lakes where I just beat the shit out of the water to get the moss off and caught a rather decent sized bass. I think it was
That's
like
pretty funny.
21 inches or something like that is what they measured it at. Yeah. So that's only the start of that story. So we were all camping there, and we kept the
Mhm.
fish on a stringer, and
Yeah.
we were gonna clean them and the next day. And my cousins got a good idea to, since it was my fish, not their fish, and it
Yeah.
was the bigger one, they thought they were gonna grab a stick, shove it in its mouth, and cook it over the fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they didn't clean it. Yeah. And when my dad and his brother figured out what we were doing, we got a good ass beating for that.
Yeah, because you just ruined a perfectly good fish.
Yep, yep. And it got
Ugh.
dropped in the fire, and that
Oh,
fish was just
god.
lost by the end of it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we were camping, and that's not the dumbest thing that we did camping.
No, probably not.
So we also had a canoe, right? That
Mhm.
and we always took it out to Diamond because there's no gas powered motors out there, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we brought the canoe all the way back up on the bank and had it sitting probably 20, 30 feet off the fire. But you know what comes with boats? You have life preservers and those little seats that you sit on that are preservers, right?
Yeah.
Well, I got into an argument with my cousins about they decided to screw the lid on a wine bottle
Yeah.
and they
Huh.
were going to throw it in the fire.
Oh.
I told them, and I was the younger one by a ways with these cousins. And I
Yeah.
told them that that is not smart because it will explode. And they told me I was wrong. So they threw it into the fire, right? And they're all standing there watching it. I've yelled at them about 9 times to get away from it. When I saw the stuff inside starting to boil,
Ugh.
I grabbed one of the seat preservers,
Yeah.
the ones you sit on,
Yeah.
got behind
Yeah.
the canoe and held it up like a shield,
Oh.
and the bottle exploded. Burning
Oh.
glass chunks went into both of them, and I had 3 of them in the life preserver, and I never got hit by one. So
Oh.
here's my dad and my uncle digging glass shards that are still burning out of the kids, and they wonder why I'm not the one hurt. Yeah.
'Cause I tried telling him.
Yeah. And they didn't like that answer, and we all got
No.
beat. for the fact that we were
rightfully
all
s yeah.
involved, even though I was one trying to stop them.
Well, just for the sheer fact that you wasted a bottle of wine.
No, no, it was empty. Yeah, it was an empty bottle, but there was enough in there to build up enough compression to explode it, and I knew
Oh.
that.
Oh. Well,
They used to
still.
catch crawdads too and put them in a coffee can and boil them, thinking they're making, something edible too. You gotta take the poop veins out.
God. Ugh,
One of them tried to eat
gross.
it wasn't me, I knew better.
Mm, yeah.
But
No.
yeah, I got millions of Diamond Lake stories. Like back in the old day, I'm sure you remember, that on the
Yeah.
backside, it wasn't
Yes.
paved. It was all
No.
gravel,
Mhm.
and dad used to pull a camper with an old station wagon,
Yeah.
and he'd have to make somebody walk up to the top of the hill and stop traffic so he could run as fast as the station wagon would go to make that
So we can
steep
make the
gravel hill.
hill.
Yeah.
It's paved now, so
Yeah, no, it's paved now, it's all good. And they've actually changed it quite a bit since we've been there. Well, since,
yeah.
I was camping there. They even put in
It's
that,
actually nice back there.
yeah, they put the electrical around most of well, I think all the way around that one side, didn't they?
It's back there, yeah, and there's, like, shower house and stuff back there
And
now,
then they
and
put the, RV park up in there,
mhm.
build a second pond.
Yeah, yeah. They've updated it quite a bit out there.
It's still manicured all the way down to the water, though.
Mhm.
That's my
Yeah,
favorite part.
it's very nice out there.
Diamond Lake is a good time.
It is.
Uh, I remember, every other lake that you go to, right? Right at the water's edge, they always have the weeds and shit that are growing up a little bit for
Yeah,
like 2 feet.
yeah.
Diamond doesn't do that. They fucking weed eat
No.
that shit, and they
Yeah,
rock it
it's
out.
always been that. It's always been nice out
Like,
like
you can
that.
walk straight into the water even though you can't swim there. Well,
Exactly.
on purpose
Yeah,
swim there. I've
yeah.
accidentally swam there hundreds of times.
You're not the only one.
Yeah. I remember when I was a kid, there on the backside, they had that willow tree that went out over the water a little bit, and my mom used to, uh, crochet. I believe that's what
Yeah,
and she made
yeah.
baby swings with
Oh,
the little block
okay.
letters and stuff on it. So,
Yeah,
they'd hang one of those from that willow tree that hung out over the water, and they'd push me.
okay.
Well, one of her endeavors wasn't balanced quite right, so they pushed me out over the
No.
water, and it flipped upside down, so I was stuck in it, and my
Oh,
my head
no.
from here up was dragging in the water coming back, and, there's big rocks on
No.
the edge.
Yeah.
Well, I apparently pulled my head up just enough to miss the rocks on the first swing, and then everybody was freaking out trying to figure out how to stop me on the second one and caught me right before I smashed my face into the rocks. But from
Whoops.
here, kept going underwater.
That's kinda funny.
And then they put me in the other big willow tree after that, and the branch broke off while I was swinging in one of those things and just fell on the ground, and it
Some
landed
things are
right
starting
behind
to
me.
make sense
No,
now.
I never got hurt. It was
Oh,
always, like, this close to getting hurt. It was a good time.
jeez, that's funny.
But you remember the, old school playground that they had out there? Like,
The
before
death trap?
they've redone it now, and
Well, yeah, it's
all the
nice
toys are
now.
safe, they're not from the '70s.
Right. Right.
Well, they had that, like, story tall slide.
Mhm.
Well, when I was a kid, uh, I had to be like 3 or 4, and my cousin Steve was out there, and we've been messing with each other the whole time, and as I'm going up the steps, I'm like, at him,
Shocker.
missed a step, bit my tongue
Ugh.
off because it
Ugh.
caught on the next step up, and my
Yeah.
tongue was hanging by, like, this much,
Ugh.
and I still have where they took the stitches out of my tongue when they sewed it back on.
Ew.
That was if I could remember that day, it'd probably be a bad day.
You didn't learn your lesson, you still stick your tongue out all the time.
Yeah, 'cause no, I'm not gonna slip and bust my mouth without shutting it first. I'm not 3. We used to go out there to the merry-go-round, the old school ones, the big metal one they used to
Yeah.
have out there,
Yeah, that thing was huge.
and we'd turn a moped on its side and put the tire against it, and then everybody'd get on the outside to see who could hold on the longest.
Yeah. Those were the glory days.
The problem with that is they had trees within 15 feet of that merry-go-round.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they did.
So when you flew off,
You hit something.
it was Russian roulette on if you were gonna hit a tree or not.
Yeah.
And going 45 miles an hour coming off there just from the tire, not from the force.
Yeah.
We may or may not have, damaged some ribs or
Yeah.
foreheads or but now it's a great place.
Yeah.
It's one of
It's
those
more
places you
child
need to go
friendly.
camping.
Yeah.
Off the beaten path, crowds are usually pretty fucking low,
Yeah.
manicured, no gas-powered things, you can take your kayaks out there. Always a fucking good
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. No, it's always really nice out there.
So I highly suggest you find a camper and get out there. And speaking of that, we're about to buy a camper.
This is true.
As long as the bank says it's okay. And we will specialize in Diamond Lake.
Yes,
It's
sir.
pretty close to where we're gonna put it. So rent a camper. We'll get all those details out later, hopefully. So where's your favorite place to fish?
Anywhere where there's water.
You better not say farm ponds. We're talking about places everybody can go.
Oh, well, it used to be farm ponds because I had access to farm ponds. I mean, yeah, Diamond Lake would probably be my favorite non-farm pond place.
You weren't a Hawthorne girl?
No, no. Um, Other than that, I'd gone like up north. We'd go on vacation, and there were some places up north that were nice. But yeah, locally, I would say Diamond Lake. Yes.
Well, Barn City has a great well, it used to have a great bar, and now it's like a restaurant because it's changed owners and they revamped
Yeah.
it, and it's still fucking good. I
It's
enjoy
still
going
really
to it.
good there.
What's it called? The Longhorn?
Pers Yeah, it's still Longhorn. I personally have never fished at Hawthorne, so I cannot give an opinion on the fishing there.
So back in the old days before they drained it, they used to have all the trees standing up in it still.
Mhm.
Well, Dad and I took our canoe, which I still have, by the way. I still own a canoe, and we took it out at Hawthorne. I was probably 12, 11, 12, somewhere in there, and you know, when you're out on a boat, sooner or later you gotta pee.
Yeah.
Well, Dad had his pole in the water. I had my pole in the water. Dad had to pee. So he stood up in a canoe. And you know, in a canoe, not very stable. And my bobber goes under while he's standing up peeing. So I set the hook and I set the hook hard. I always set the hook really hard because I up my test so I can make sure I catch everything.
Huh?
And I firmly have this fish, and then his pole goes and about
Oh,
goes over the side of the boat. So I stood up and
no.
grabbed it and set the hook like all the way back to my seat in his. Dad pissed all over the canoe, trying to hold on so he didn't fall into the water. So now I
That's
have two
funny.
fish on and only two hands. And he's got another fish on that he's trying to finish that he's trying to get back and where it goes. And he finally gets done, gets zipped up. He fucking screaming at me, yanks his pole out of my hand. And I shit you not, I caught a bluegill that was probably that big. They measured it, and lengthwise, it would have been a state record, except for it was this big, this thick.
Oh.
It was paper thin.
Oh my god.
And I hooked with Dad's pole a catfish that was an inch off of the lake record at the same time.
Oh my god.
I
That's
told him
crazy.
every time we're going fishing, you're pissing out of the boat.
That's what you're allowed to do.
Yeah. But no, back then it had all the trees and stuff, and you had to worry about hitting logs with your boat, and they cleaned all that
Forget
crap out.
that.
So, and now it's got a channel through it, and you actually, before you could go and find any brush and fish it and catch something, right?
Yeah.
But now you gotta know the channels and where the backwater is and where the holes
Um,
are, and that's why
yeah.
that one guy, does really good at it because he grew up on the lake and knows all that shit.
Oh, yeah.
But anymore, it's still a good time. It's still a good place to go. You can fish from, I think, what is it, like 40% of the bank there, but you definitely need a boat when you go
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And I still haven't figured out Red Rock because You can catch stripers like they're going out of business. You can catch catfish, but it's hard to go bass fishing on Red Rock. You can catch everything
See,
else.
I've camped there. I've never fished at Red Rock.
There's
So,
not a lot of brush piles
oh,
or shit like that to actually get
mhm.
into because it's a river, so it sucks all the
Right.
shit down.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit harder, but catfish and stuff like that, you can find the little holes here and there and
Mhm.
the crevices in the rock faces and stuff like that. But if you like stripers
Yeah.
or I don't know what the fuck they throw the big hooks up and I think carp, they drag carp out of there all the
Oh,
time. But
yeah.
it's a great place
I
to camp. You got a beach, you can go swimming, you can go boating,
yeah.
do all that fun shit. But
Yeah, camping there was fun.
I still lean towards Diamond Lake for my activities.
Mhm.
It's a good time. So pond fishing, since you brought it up, there
Yes.
there used to be a pond that was only 3 miles from my house, and we always had permission to go in there and fish, and they always had the 12-inch bass that, like, literally you look at the water and you have 10 of them in your basket before you know what to do with them
Jeez.
because they were that overstocked and overrun in that pond. It just
Oh. See, but then that's not fun.
well, that's where you get food when you're poor. You
Okay,
go get about
valid.
10 of them, and then you got a meal for a night, you go back the next day, and then after that, you find somewhere else. But,
If you're doing it for sport,
yeah, that
though.
those kinda ponds are interesting. One of my friends and I went to, a pond that the owner is like, "The bluegill have taken over. We
Oh,
need you to come in here and clean them out."
and just clean them out, yeah.
53 later, we decided
And you
we
haven't
didn't
even
wanna
made a dent.
we decided we wanted to, not clean fish for 5 days.
Yeah.
So we brought all of these back to his house and we literally set up an assembly line,
Mhm.
cut them in half, sent them to me. I flipped out the other part. His kid finished them from there. And
Yeah.
we had a 5-gallon bucket full of bluegill meat
Ooh,
when we were done. And his
yeah.
wife has some way to cook them. I don't know how she does it, but she's got seasoning and how she can cook it makes it taste like walleye cheeks.
Really?
Yep, which is what 90% of the walleye fishers go after. Mhm. So,
Yeah.
the fact that she can cook it that way, I think she made, like, 7 cookie sheets full of them by the time she was done. It's some kinda
Damn.
way that she bakes them and with the right seasonings on.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I thought it was a good time. I'd never had it
Yeah.
before. They even served it with fried Brussels sprouts.
You know how I feel about Brussels sprouts, so
Well, I wasn't a fan until I ate hers, and now, every time I see fried Brussels sprouts, we gotta get some.
I love me some Brussels sprouts. So,
So what's your goal for this fishing season?
just to go.
Just to go? Nothing you wanna catch? Nothing you wanna eat?
I don't care as long as I get to be outside and go fishing. I'm a happy camper.
Yeah, maybe I'll read some books apparently, because I only fish for, like, 30 minutes, and then I'm at my limit, so
That's fine. It's bonding time,
no,
dear.
great. It's just what we need. As long as there's no Mexican food, we'll be fine.
You'll be fine.
Maybe. So since you do, book reviews,
Yeah.
think you can crank out a movie review?
Ooh, I don't know.
I
We
don't
can
know.
try it.
We did just go watch a movie.
We did. It was a good movie.
What movie might have that been?
We saw Project Hail Mary.
And how did you think that was gonna go before you watched it?
It well, and to be fair, it was a book, and I did not read the book. And it was a little bit different. Well, it was more than the preview. It's a little more than what I thought it was going to be from the preview. Oh.
So, how did you like the fact that you start in the middle and then you're moving ahead and going backwards at the same time?
I actually do like movies like that.
Where he's kinda
I
getting his memory back on how he got there?
Mhm. Yeah. I I don't mind movies like that. I don't have to start at the beginning and follow the whole thing. I'm okay with those types of movies.
So did it go the direction you thought it was gonna go? just based off the
No,
trailer.
no. I thought that he was going to be he wasn't the type of character that I thought he was going to be. I thought he was going to be more of a, like, well renowned type of, scientist, not kind of a derpy, just a elementary science teacher that kinda just gets, "Hey, did you write this dissertation? Okay, you did? Come with us." Kind of a guy who was kind of a he was kind of a punk. I didn't anticipate that. I mean, from the preview, that's not the impression that was given, and so that projection of him was way off versus the movie. I mean, I still really liked him, but that was not what was the perception of him from the preview, or at least that's not the perception I got from the preview.
See, I thought there from what I was thinking was there was going to be some kind of aggressive action between him and aliens at some point.
Yeah, I thought there was going to be more of eh,
I thought
not
there was
like
gonna be some kinda confrontation
not like Independence Day confrontation, but more
to where he had to negotiate himself out of it at least.
right, right. I don't wanna say more interaction because they had a lot of interaction, but a different type of interaction, like aggressive interaction, I
Yeah,
would say.
I thought there was gonna kinda be more of a standoff between them at some point until they
Yeah,
realize they
yeah,
have to work together,
yeah.
and it
I
was the
no.
exact opposite.
Yeah.
That
No,
part was
they're
kinda funny, though. I mean, the initial meeting was kinda funny.
no,
Everybody knows there
it
was
was
gonna be alien interaction sometime in the movie, but how it happens is hilarious.
it was pretty funny. Well, yeah, because from the preview, it's literally like, "So I met a Martian." And I'm like, "Okay, so there's aliens in the movie. Great." It was like one of the things that I was like, "All right, space movie, got it. Wanna see it because of that." And then, "Oh, aliens, double check." But, yeah, the way that they actually come to meet one another was pretty funny.
And was it really an alien, or was it something that you can see on Earth?
It could be. There could be Rockies around here, we
It
just don't know it.
it kinda looked like that guy off of Fantastic Four.
Oh, yeah. I don't remember what his name is, but
Chunk, I don't know his name.
yeah, Chunk.
So if you had to rate the movie, scale of 1 to 5, where'd you put it?
I would say probably a 5.
A 5 above Brian's
Yeah.
book.
Okay, you can't these are 2 completely different books and movies, completely no, you can't. No, because I was surprised how much more I liked the movie based off of the trailer, that I liked it more once I actually watched the movie. Because there for a little bit, I was all like, "Ooh, I don't know if I'm gonna like it because this guy's kind of a punk." And then he was, though. Don't tell me you didn't think he was a punk.
Can't say I didn't agree with you, but it doesn't stop
Well
me from laughing at you.
but then he redeemed himself.
I can't really give away the ending, but
Well,
I
I mean,
I'm
I
just
think he
saying I'm
redeemed
not
himself.
sure that I would have made the same decision at the end that he made.
Well, no, I know you wouldn't.
At the very end, not before that,
Right.
but the very end.
No. Yeah.
I
But
might have,
no.
I might have for a while, but
Yeah.
there would have definitely been a timeline put on it. Gather some knowledge and do what you gotta do and
Right.
then follow through with it, but I really don't wanna spoil the ending, so
Well, no, but yeah. I mean, I'm glad it turned out the way that it did.
so you're putting a 5 out of 5 on it.
Yeah. Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. 'Cause there for a minute, I was all like, "Oh, well, this could go another way. Maybe it's not gonna be as good as I thought it was gonna be." And then it got all tied up in a pretty little bow for me, and I liked it. So,
Well,
I like clean endings.
there's been, like, 5 or 6 people that told me multiple times I had to watch the movie. I was not disappointed that I would I give it a
Well,
5 out of 5?
see? It's
Probably.
you.
I'd probably put
You
it
w
at, like, 3.5 to 4.
That's pretty high for your scale.
Well, there wasn't any action in it, no shooting aliens. Gotta shoot something to get above a 4.
Violence is not always the answer.
You know, the only thing that makes violence better is more violence, dear, and you gotta keep that in mind.
Yeah,
Well, that
I
is
still like that.
that is pretty much what I wanted to drag you on here today for, was to, bring up the fact we're going to Iowa Distilling Company, which I still have some of,
Of course
which
you do.
which I can drink some of, and I'm
Enjoy
not
that.
sharing with you.
You're so kind.
I am not. We'll put that right up there where you can't see it, but it's looking right at you on my
That was sarcasm. It was
computer screen.
sarcasm. It was sarcasm.
And I wanted to actually get into the fact that fishing season is here,
I
and
know.
the
I'm
fact that
pumped.
you were so excited about Bass Pro. I had to get your,
I was.
Bass Pro plug in, and you just happened to say, "Oh, Bass Pro, we shoulda went and walked around." I thought it was hilarious that I was having that thought at the same time that you brought it up.
Hey, I am so easily entertained.
Have you ever noticed that the lanes of Bass Pro are narrower?
No.
Yes, they're narrow lanes,
Why?
so they can fit more in,
Mm.
but they're not the regulation size lanes there, because 'cause they're more for entertainment, they're not for professional use.
Oh,
That's why they serve
I'm too
food
busy
and
looking
beer
at
and
all.
drinks and lights, and yeah, it's to create an ambiance,
Oh, I
not
mean,
professional bowlers.
oh, I've never bowled there.
I have
I
multiple
just,
times.
I just know that there's a bowling alley
Are
there.
you not a bowler?
Yes, actually, I am.
Great.
I used to work at a bowling alley.
That doesn't mean you know how to bowl.
I was on a bowling league for a summer. Thank you very
Well, you
much.
never brought that up before. I just thought you were rolling balls around at a bowling alley.
No, I was on a bowling league.
And I will probably have to, I will tell you off camera so I don't have to edit it out. We will save that part.
Probably a good life choice. No, I've never bowled at Bass Pro. I'm I mean, I used to try when we would go up there for like state wrestling and stuff. We would try to get in there, but it was usually so packed that we couldn't get in. So, um, but I have looked in there, but usually I get distracted by everything else that's in there, so it's
Shiny
fine.
stuff.
Yeah, I have attention span of goldfish.
Well, we will get you into the bowling alley at Bass Pro one of these days.
Okay,
Maybe make
deal.
maybe make a company outing out of it or some stupid
There
shit.
we go.
Well, oh, another big thing that's going on. We got the bread
What?
shed in New Sharon.
Nice segue.
We got the bread shed going on in New Sharon. If you are anywhere around New Sharon, Iowa, you hit up the bread shed, packed full of goodies every day. Every day.
Oh, I don't know if it's every day.
No, it's every day,
Is it every day? Okay.
especially on the weekends. They super pack that shit on the weekends from what I've seen. They got breads and muffins and pies and oh my's, all kinds of stuff.
I know for sure it's on the weekends.
Yeah. But I think they take specialty orders and shit during the week. So if you want something special, they'll put it out there for you. So give them a call at the bread shed in New Sharon, Iowa. Not Australia or Hong Kong or Canada.
There's a
It's
there's a new share in Australia.
I don't know. I'm just saying it's not in the other countries. It's in New Sharon, Iowa, the bread shed. So if you're listening in the other countries, I am sorry, but they don't deliver. You cannot DoorDash the bread shed. And Diamond Lake. Hopefully coming soon, a camper that you can rent and go to Diamond Lake. It'll be
Yes.
a good time. Just got to talk to the bank. The bank says okay, then we got a camper. The bank says no, I'll find a different bank. All right, guys, that'll wrap up this episode. Hope you had a little bit of fun and got some stories out of us. And don't forget, live stream of the Iowa Distilling Company, and we got book reviews coming up. So that over
Be a good
there,
time.
that would be Ashley, and we had a good time. So I will catch you next time. It's called Frosty Ding It, and I'm the dolphin, and you're the flower.
Well, I guess I think it should be Dr. Parker, but